So these two orbs back here are going to be baited to the tanks. These orbs over here are going to be baited to the DPS. These orbs over here are going to be baited to... Oh my fucking god. What am I drawing? This is the fourth circle. I actually thought this turn wasn't too bad. So like he does a lot of stuff from normal mode. But obviously it's like not telegraphed and stuff, you know? And yes, this is a door boss. I have people ask me all the time, what is a door boss? It's just the boss before the real boss. There's always a checkpoint after the boss. So anyway, this fucking thing here, what is this? Decoloration, whatever that means. That's just a raid AoE. That's just basic raid AoE. All right, Blood Drake. He's like sucking the DPS blood. You see Arthur's over here? Okay, Hesperos is a thirsty motherfucker. See him sucking Arthur's waifu? Now this Blood Drake, it could target the tanks or healers, okay? Now, whenever he does this, there's going to be like tethers, and there's going to be a debuff that it's like a passable debuff. Like when you go into this fight, the very first thing he's going to do is this called Blood Rake. And there's going to be two responsibilities. It's based on role. Tanks and healers and DPS, one of those roles is going to have to grab a tether, and one of those roles is going to have to get that debuff. So you want to have your party set up like this. You want to have a tank there, a tank here, a healer here, a healer there, and then you want to have like melee, ranged. And the reason why you want to have it set up like this is to make it really easy for you to grab tethers and debuffs. So I'll explain that part in a second. When you come into the mechanic, think about it like this. All you have to know is that you are responsible for both of them. And if he does Blood Rake on your roll, then he removes that responsibility from you. In this case right here, you go in with the mentality, okay, I have to not only grab the tether, but also get the debuff. You always go in with the mentality. However, since he did Blood Drake on the DPS, that means he removes that responsibility from you. So now the DPS, they don't have to get the tether. Okay, so let's see who he does Blood Rake on the second time. Now you see how he did Blood Rake on the tanks and healers. So now he's going to do this, Director's Balone, and this is going to basically mean, this is going to be the debuffs. Now you see this debuff right here? See that debuff? How it works is the first time he does Blood Drake, he's removing that responsibility from the person. So like if you watch. Okay. Because he removed that responsibility from the tanks and healers, that means the DPS had to grab it. So when he did Blood Rake first, he did it on the DPS. So that means that the tanks and healers have to grab the tether. And then he did Blood Rake on the tank and healers. So that means that the DPS have to grab the debuff. Now he can do it both on the same person. So like there'll be some times where he'll Blood Rake the tanks and healers twice in a row. That means the DPS do everything. They have to grab the debuff off of the tank and healer and also grab the tether. And the same thing can happen for tanks and healers. So you just have to remember that the first Blood Drake goes along with the tether and the second Blood Drake goes with the debuff. Here, we can watch it again real quick. So this Blood Drake, it goes with the tether. So because he Blood Draked the DPS here, that means the DPS can't take the tethers. He's removing the tether responsibility from the DPS. So they don't have to worry about the tether. And then he does this, which I'll be honest, I have no fucking idea what that is. I think it just changed this buff. I don't know, man. Dude, I don't fucking know what it means. Okay, Blood Rake. He did it the second time. Honestly, you don't even need to fucking know what that means. I hovered over it like twice when we first like got here, and I was like, wait, this actually doesn't mean anything, because the only thing you have to look at is the Blood Rake. That's it. So he did Blood Rake on the second time. So that means he was removing the responsibility of the debuff from the tank and healers, right? So this configuration, the DPS have to get the roll call, the tank and healers have to get the tether. So this Director's Balone, that sends out the debuff, right? That sends out the roll call. So like if you watch my buff here. So here's my buff now. So a DPS has to come grab this. Now I'm jumping to indicate that I fucking have that shit. Now, this is why it's important that you set your party up like this. Basically, you set it up like this so that there's no confusion. Let's say that the debuff is right there and right here. He always puts the debuff on 2 tank and healers and like 2 DPS. So let's say that the other 2 debuffs are like that and that. You want to set it up like this so it's very easy to get the buff. This person right here will always grab the debuff that is all the way over here. So this person's going to come and grab this one. And this person's going to come and grab this one. Let's say it's like this. Okay, well this person, you know, is going to grab that. This person's going to come up here and grab that. So this is how this Blood Drake works, okay? And it's also important to note, in this situation, the DPS needed to get the debuff and the tank and healers needed to get the tether. This guy came over here and grabbed that. This guy came up here and grabbed that. Now, this is like really important. After you get your debuff, you can actually all stack on top of each other. So there's the tether. So if you stack up like this, then that means that the tethers all are in one place. Because if you don't stack up, the tethers can be like all over the place. You can have like one here, one here, one here, and one here. You know what I mean? So you got a tether here and a tether here. Tether here and a tether here. So what happens is, what if this guy comes in and grabs a tether, right? And then this guy comes in and grabs a tether. Maybe it's like this. Maybe this guy's slow. So when this guy moves out, the tether actually ends up on this guy because he fucking takes it. You know what I mean? Okay, so you don't want any tether fiascos. Whenever you resolve your debuffs, right? You need to stack on top of each other like this to make it super easy. Like, let's say the DPS had to do everything. Okay, well then they'd go get their rot. And after they got their rot, the tanks and healers would just stack up. And then all the DPS would come like right here. It's very important that everyone stacks up like this so that all the tethers go on the right players. You know what I mean? Because let me tell you, man, I can already see this being a fucking issue in Party Finder where people run across each other with the wrong debuff and shit. All right, so let's watch it again. I think I'm too dumb for this. Seems good. The tethers are very slippery. Yeah, it's like someone dipped those tethers in butter. Very slippery. Okay? Trying to grab a fish out of water. Okay? Alright. Now watch. The DPS. He's going to do Director's Balloon. Okay? No, it's not always 4 DPS. No. All right, now you see how the DPS are stacked up here? So the DPS here, they came down here to grab the debuff, and then they went back here to stack up. Now they're all stacked up here. Now the tanks and healers were stacked up right here. So that means that this thing here, inversive, whatever this is, clammies, whatever, inversive clammies, that's the tether. So all of the tethers are going to be like this, and they're automatically going to go on the tank and healers. So that's why you do that. It's very important. See how easy that was? And you just spread out. Spread them. Okay? Alright, then just another raid AoE. This right here is a tank buster. I just home gang this because warriors are badass and they can get 2 of their invuln off. But if you're playing an inferior tank that's a non-warrior tank, you know, you might have to tank swap it or something, okay? This is a multi-hit buster. It's a 2-hit. The first hit puts a vuln. The second hit is just another hard-hitting hit. Now you see the vuln? If you're a warrior, you don't have to care about that. You can invuln with the other tanks. I'm just memeing. Okay, so we do a tank swap here. We do a tank swap here for 2 reasons. 1, Nova wants to grief the party by using Living Dead on the second tank buster, on the next tank buster. Okay, that's the first reason. The second reason is because she's jealous that I am having all the attention of the vampire sexy man. So those are the 2 reasons why we vote. We do a tank swap there. Now, he's gonna use setting the scene or whatever. Now these are different platforms. Obviously, this is just like in normal mode. This is water, which means it's going to be a knockback from the center. It's going to knock back in every direction. That's water, just like in normal mode. This one right here is the lava or the fire, and it's 2 party stacks. And both of the stacks go on each healer. That's why we got a 1 right there and a 2 right here. When we do this mechanic, we have this whole like process where we have one group go to this side, one group go to that side. No. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that fucking marker, because I don't give a shit where we're supposed to be. I go where the marker is. There's a big fucking difference. You need to mark your healers, 1 and 2. You don't go where you're supposed to be. You go where this fucking marker is, okay? Now this one right here, this is lightning. Lightning is a massive explosion based on the center of the arena. It's a proximity based. The closer you are to the center of the arena, the more damage it's gonna do. Now you need to peel off. You need to go all the way to the wall, unless you're a warrior. If you're a warrior, you can pop all your cooldowns because you have so many of them, and you can just stand, like, you can stand max melee and you can just tank that shit like a fucking man. You don't need to fuck off like a pussy. You'll see me do that. And then this last one here, this last one is probably the hardest, and this is a spread. I say this is the hardest for 2 reasons. 1, because for some fucking reason people don't like to spread out, but 2, the delay on this spread is insane. It's like a 5-second delay. Basically, he's gonna combine 2 of these, right? He always starts with either water or lightning. He always starts with one of them. So let's say that it's knockback into spread. Well, after he does a knockback, the spread takes so long that you can forget that it's gonna happen. You'll know what I'm talking about when you do this, or if you've done it, then you probably already know. This is a debate. Okay, so anyway, so those are the different platforms. All right, now he's gonna do Pnax. Okay, now when he does Pnax, okay, it's either gonna be this one first or this one. The other element that he will do will always be either right there or right there. It will never be a lightning into a water. So if he does water first, it'll either be right here or right here. And this is good to know for orientation, which I'll get into that in a little bit. So he does lightning, and then it's either gonna be, okay, so lightning and spread. Okay, now, you see how I move my character? Now this is important, okay? Because whenever you're doing this fight, it can be very easy to be disoriented, like not know where north is, not know what group you're supposed to be in. So what we did at the start was we designated 1 and 2. One group would always be on one side and the other group would always be on another side. And it would always be based on the 2 panels. So if you notice, my camera is facing here because I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do, right? So it's like, okay, he does lightning. Okay, boom. All right when I see that he does lightning, I reposition myself. And the reason why I do is because it's either going to be these 2 or it's going to be these 2. You don't have to do this, but I'm telling you it'll help you. And the reason why it will is because if he does the spread, like let's say you have the group set up like we do, right? So you always have the 2 group over here and the 1 group over here. Well, this grouping is based on the 2 panels that are activated. So like it would be like this in this case. Or let's say that this one down here is activated. Okay, so then 2 would be here and 1 would be here. Okay, so now these 2 are active. So that means that to get the most amount of space that you need to spread, you're gonna have to go like away from here, or you need to go over here. Do not go over here. And the reason why you don't want to go over here is because you can't be on the platform when it goes off. If you're on the platform when it goes off, you're just dead. And the reason why it's good to go over here is because you can actually go into the platform for the spread. So let's say that you go this way. You have cut yourself off of an entire quadrant because you can't spread out up here, because you can't be on this platform when it goes out. That's why if you're gonna move out, you wanna move out like over there, or like over here, or over here. Let's say that I move right here. Well, after the lightning goes off for the spread, I can actually move right here. I can go back into the lightning, so it'll give more people down here space. All right, now look. Now remember, I said I line myself up, okay? Remember, this is get the fuck out of middle and spread. So I go over here, I'm max melee. What you're gonna see is what we like to call greed. Do not do this, okay? I do it because I greed responsibly. Okay. Okay, now, this lightning went off. Now this spread is going to go off. Now you notice how I was right here, and instead of spreading out over there or spreading right here, I actually go into the old danger zone. This gives all this space over here for people to spread. Okay, so it's really important. So pretty much, okay, so we have to fuck off for the lightning. I fuck off for the lightning. Okay, now it's a spread. Now look how delayed the, okay, well, I guess that one wasn't. It feels more delayed on the second one. But anyway, so you see how there's more space, right? So basically, I knew this melee was going to go in. Man, look, I'm sorry I keep talking about this movement, but it's just very, very important because, dude, it's very easy to kill each other with these spreads, man. It really is, okay? Be careful when you do this. Like, if you're trying to get uptime and shit, which, yeah, it's fine, it's cool and all, but you can easily kill somebody if you do this. By me moving over here, I give space to the melee, okay? So now there's a tank here, a melee here, another melee here, and then I actually continue to go this way, and I think Nar comes in a little bit over here to give Arthur's more space. These two might kill each other. I don't know. It looks pretty close to me. Okay. Now after those two are done, he will always do the only two that are left. And the only two that are left is get knocked back and the two healer stacks, the groups. Now this is the one where you have to go to a specific side of the arena. It's based on this move here, Southernly Shift. All right, now on each cardinal, there's gonna be this doodad, okay? Okay, now you see these doodads? See that thing there? All right, that's a debate. You can kind of ignore this thing. The only thing that matters is the name of this cast right there. It's going to be Southernly, Western, Eastern, or Northernly, or whatever. Wherever the shift is, that means that he's going to go this way. So if you look at the mini map right here, C is south. So he's going south because it's south shift. There's going to be a knockback, and you can use the knockback as a way to get there. I would recommend just moving and popping Surecast. But while he does this, either one of two things is going to happen. If you see his cape, it's glowing. The other thing he can do is his sword. His sword can glow. So whichever one is glowing means that he's going to do it at whatever shift. So in this case, it's going to be a southern shift. So he's going to go here and then he's going to do the cape. There's going to be four things that happen. First off, there's going to be a water knockback from here. After that happens, there's going to be a cape. Now, if you remember what the cape did in normal mode, it was also a knockback. So basically, it's going to be a knockback into another knockback, and you can prevent all of this. I think I remember, if you want to prevent all of it, I think I remember Chet saying he uses his Surecast like right here. I think that's where you use it, and it covers it. Okay, so there's going to be a knockback into a cape, because the cape knocks back. And then after that, there's going to be a delayed second element. And in this case, the delayed second element is the stack. Now see, again, if you're a non-warrior, you have to worry about all this shit. No. As a warrior, you just use inner release and fuck all that garbage. Okay, you just inner release your way through this mechanic. This mechanic doesn't exist for a warrior. If you're a warrior, you're too strong. This mechanic doesn't exist. So there's a knockback. There's another knockback. You see all these people getting flown around and shit? You know, okay, now here's what's really important, okay? Here's your stacks. See how we got the 1 and the 2. Remember, this is a delayed stack. Look how delayed this shit is, man. Here, watch. We'll watch the whole fucking mechanic again. All right, watch. Water. Cape. Look at the stack. It still hasn't happened. Now, that can be a stack or a spread. Okay? All right, now here's the other tank buster. Here's this Dark Knight griefing the healers with living dead. Heal me, oh my god, I'm in a grave, heal me, oh my god. Okay, all right. Now, he's going to do Blood Rake again, and he's going to Blood Rake every panel except for one. So if you look, he's going to tether there and this panel down here, but he's not going to tether this one. That will come in handy later. And the reason why is because there's going to be a time where he detonates every platform all at the same time, and you need to know the one that is not blood raked. So that's why you need to know. blood rake this, Mr. Vampire. All right. Now he does setting the scene again. He's just going to put the elements on the same, or on the field again. And all the elements do the same thing. So this part has orbs. All right, if you look at these debuffs. Okay, now the tanks and healers will always get DPS. All this debuff means is that you have to grab that orb. So like the DPS, they can get either tank or healer. So you have a group here, a group here, a group here, and a group here. And you have tanks here, DPS, DPS, and healer. And the reason why is because the orbs are baited on the closest person, right? So these two orbs back here are going to be baited to the tanks. These orbs over here are going to be baited to the DPS. These orbs over here are going to be baited to... Oh my fucking god. What am I drawing? Fuck me, dude. Okay, anyway. So this is what your group should look like, okay? So the orbs are going to be like this, okay? And the tethers are going to be like... this. So, like I said earlier, remember, if you look at these debuffs, right? The DPS get random if it's either healer or tank. Because the orbs that are going to be tethered to a tank are up here, you want the tank DPS to be over here. Because what's going to happen is these two DPS are going to pop that orb and then move to this orb. The tanks are going to pop this DPS orb and then this one. Then these DPS are going to pop the healer one and then the next one. And then the healers, they're going to pop the DPS one and then this one. So basically, that's what's going to happen. So he's going to do balloon bursts. All this does is summon the orbs. All right. Now look, you see this tether? See this orb? Tether to a DPS. Okay, that means the DPS can't pop that shit. You see this thing right here? It says no sword. That means the DPS can't pop that. You don't have to go super fast. Can you pop 2 orbs or just 1 for the mechanic? No, you have to pop 2. And ideally you wait for a heal like in between because they do quite a bit of damage. Also, the blood drake does quite a bit of damage too. So it all adds up. So like I use shake here. So like the first pop. Mies took half his health. You don't have to grab the orbs ridiculously fast. Like you grab one and then you kind of wait maybe a GCD or 2. And then you grab the next one. So this mechanic's, relatively simple. Just don't pop too fast, If you try to pop, so if you notice, man, you get this debuff right here. This is called Thrice Come Ruin. If you get 3 stacks of this, you die instantly. So you can't have like one guy put Pega around everything. Okay, so this move right here, Periactyl. This is the move that blows up the platform. How many people remember what platform was going to blow up? Yo, you forgot? Yo, you're dead as shit. That's a good goddamn poll. Polls up, boys. Come on, let's vote. This is a 2,500 viewer raid group. Oh, people are voting fire. I think people are voting fire just because it happened to be the highest. Oh, we got some water, got some poison, electric. Yeah, you guys didn't know there was a pop quiz. I didn't know there was a pop quiz. Fire is the winner. Let's see. Are we alive? Are we alive? Let's see. Roll the footage. Woo! Okay. All right. Now here's another blood rake. Remember, blood rake does damage. Okay? This is balloon coils. Okay, now, these towers, they will have either this or they will have a shield and a healer. So basically, these towers need to be grabbed by all DPS or all tanks and healers. So these are pretty easy. Now, when he does inversive clammies, now these are the tethers. The people that get the towers, the other people get the tethers, okay? Now, it's very important to remember who got the tethers, okay? Oh, my. Greed God? Look at this, dude. Look how close this is. My character is like right there. Literally insane. That's a greed god. Okay, so remember, it's just towers. The opposite role gets the tethers. Now, it's very important. Whoever grabs the tethers here is going to grab the tethers later. So remember, tethers are tethers. Okay? Trust me, it'll make sense later. Tethers are tethers. Okay? All right, now he's going to do this shit again. Okay, he's going to do another Blood Rake. Then he's going to do another set of towers. Oh, wait, my stream stutter? Okay. All right. Now, right after those towers, he's going to do another of this rot stuff. Whoever grabs these towers, the opposite roll grabs the rot, which is the roll call. Remember the stuff from the beginning? Okay, so immediately after these towers, you line up in your position. Okay? So you line up. Now, because the tanks and healers, they got the towers, the DPS are coming for the rot. He's going to do the tethers next. Who's going to grab the tethers? Is it going to be tanks or is it going to be DPS? DPS, because tethers are tethers. Okay, let's see. Now you see how we line up? Okay, so in this configuration, the DPS had to do everything. Thank fucking God. I play a fucking warrior. I don't want to have any responsibility. All right. Okay, now one more time. You could pretty much think of it like this. You're guaranteed to do something, okay? You have to do something. So if you grab a tower, then you're not doing the other thing, okay? So because this case where the tanks had to grab the towers, okay? They're not doing the tethers. And then tanks and healers got the towers again, which meant DPS are gonna get the rot. Gonna get the debuff. Okay. Easy. Okay. This is just more raid AoE. I don't know what he does next. I can't remember. I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, another tank buster. Okay, now see here's here's where warrior is good. This tank buster just doesn't even exist for warrior. So you know it's just another reason why warrior is the best. Same warrior simping. All right, and then the fight just pretty much repeats, honestly. I mean after that the fight's pretty much it just does a repeat. Of the first phase. I believe he does the opposite of what he did in the first phase. So like what did he do in the first phase? I think he did, it's gonna be water, right? Okay, I guess not. Okay, so this is lightning. So you guys remember? So this is lightning and spread. Remember when I said to not go on this side of the platform? Well, I did it, but I did it in this video because I knew that I was gonna make a guide on this video and I wanted to demonstrate to you what not to do, okay? Wait, why the fuck am I running out? What the fuck is wrong with me? Well, that was embarrassing. Let's not talk about that. Okay, now, this is good, this is good, this is good. Okay, remember in the last one was cape. His cape was glowing, but in this one, his sword is glowing. So what that means is that this is southerly shift again, okay? So that means he's gonna come down here because this is south. And the sword, this is in normal mode. It's a fucking cleave that's like this. It's like this big ass cleave. So what you have to do is you have to get like right here or right here. Now in this configuration, this is gonna be a knockback into a sword into party stacks, okay? So knockback. I like how dude, okay. Well, that greed kind of made up for it, okay. So knockback into sword into 2 party stacks. Now I just leave the boss here. It's just raid AoE. I just leave the boss here because he just basically spams this. He doesn't do any more mechanics. Like the fight's almost over. What's the enrage on this fight? Like 711 or something. You need to get the boss's HP to 49.9. So he's at 52 right here. Okay. I can't remember what the exact kill time is, but it's like really close to around this time. I think it's like 711 or something. For some reason I keep remember 711, but maybe it's not. So he does, yeah, he does like 2. And when you do it, he says, "Do not believe victory is yours." If you don't do it, he shit talks you. If you get offended, don't worry. You could probably report him. So. Oh God. Oh God. This is it, dude. Wait. All right. So yeah. So that's the door boss. I thought it was fun. Nothing in it was too bad.